paid for them.
What, the presents?
Yeah.
No,
Or you chose them and she paid for them, but, you know, it's the thought that counts.
I got them on the way home that Saturday.
Well done.
And what did you buy?
Shops. Well, just some bits.
Might be personal, Steve.
Well, I don't care.
Just some bits.
Yeah,
Just bits and
but
pieces.
leave out the personal bits. What bits?
Just little things. And then yesterday, right?
A monkey wrench and a new washer for the shower.
Yeah. Some recordable CDs that you need for your job.
Oh,
So,
dear.
now, when you gave those presents to her, did her face light up?
Right. I don't want to tell you what they were, right? But she wasn't that impressed.
You're going to tell us what they were now,
Tell us what they are.
You even know what they are. She told you on Christmas Day.
Hold on, wait a minute.
But
Right.
it doesn't matter what they are.
It does matter what
No,
they are.
It doesn't
It
matter.
does, Carl, it's you, mate. Of
No,
course
it doesn't matter.
Oh, God!
You just remember.
Yeah!
Right, but don't. There's no need.
I've got to tell him, Carl. I really want your permission because I don't want to be a, you know, I know it's not, but we know it's not that embarrassing. It's really quite sweet.
Yeah, but in a way, right? The way I look at it is, right? Christmas, even when I was a little kid, right? Is not.
Please let me tell him, Carl.
Well, let me just tell you first, though.
Oh.
Let me tell you why I didn't go all out on the old present front.
Alright. Justify yourself.
Right? First of all, I've covered it up since then anyway, right, with that present, because I bought some shoes yesterday, and she did say I'll give you the money for them, but when I get home I said it's alright. I said you can have them, right? So not only did I buy her some food on Christmas Day, I got her shoes. She's probably had a
And then you feel like a horse.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, there you go, there's your shoes, there's your food, right, bed down, see you later.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
I
she's
have
done.
fed and clothed
Yeah,
her.
did you comb her hair?
She's done well this year, right? So the thing
She's
is,
done well this year. It's like you're a single parent living on a council estate with a smack problem, and you still managed to buy them some Lego.
when I was a kid, right, it wasn't about what you got. I remember one year when I was about 8, right?
Oh, this is going to make me cry, isn't it, this?
No, it's not. I'm just saying the way it is, right? I woke up at about 4 in the morning, and I was like, oh, what forgot? And I couldn't sleep. I was that on edge. It's the excitement of Christmas, isn't it? It's like, oh, what's wrapped up? I need to know.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that people are saying, no, you won't know until tomorrow.
Yes.
That annoys you and winds you up.
Okay.
So I got up at 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
opened my presents, and then went, right, I know now, went back to bed, had a great sleep.
Yes.
Right? So it's nothing to do with the excitement of what you get, it's the excitement of not knowing what you've got.
And then what happened when you got up to go down with the
So what
presents?
you're, but hang on, so what you're saying to me is that you could wrap up a brick because the thrill of Christmas is in hoping and being excited about what it is, not the actual gift itself.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
That's-
Yeah, did you get a brick?
No, let me tell him now what he got. He got her a present, right, and she said, she came, I said, yeah, he got me. It was an industrial-sized condoms.
It was a joke gift.
No, it wasn't a joke.
It wasn't even a joke.
I went home that Saturday after here, past Boots, thought, might have something in here. They were on, like, some value.
Right, you passed the
Were
makeup.
they used?
Right, but
Passed the
anyway,
makeup, you passed all the other...
Past the makeup,
stuff.
past the lovely vanity cases,
Yeah.
the foot spas,
Exactly.
yeah.
Bathroom
Oh, hold
products.
on. How much are these, love? For 100?
Yeah.
$4.99.
Yeah. Do I get them reduced if I buy in bulk?
So how many did you buy? What was it?
I don't know, probably about 100.
Right, okay.
And is she allowed to use those with anyone?
Did you wrap them?
Can she just go out and have a wild
Well, you
play
don't need
with
to wrap. They're already wrapped, aren't they? Oh. And then what did she say when she opened them?
I
Wait,
just-
Carl, what did she
them?
say?
Right, play a record and we'll come back to this. You're worse than my father, that's genius.
I mean, same with like women who are experiencing homelessness or anything like that. I mean, you know, women on the kind of fringe of society, and men too, certainly less a little bit. Men and women on the fringe.
Made famous, of course, by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
That's All Along the Watchtower, as originally done by Mr. Bob Dylan.
On XFM 104.9.
So, Carl, just take us through the moment where you gave this gift. Firstly,
So you went into Boots, right? You thought, alright, 100 condoms, brilliant. Okay, did you wrap it
I don't
up?
know if it was 100, probably 80.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right?
You don't want to go mad, do you?
Wrap them up.
I'm just resting easy knowing that he's not trying to breed.
Right? No.
Yeah.
So, I got her them. I got her Grease on DVD, because she's always watching that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So just think of when her mum said, "What did Carl get you? Some condoms and grease."
I was just I'm glad he said on DVD.
And, she was surprised anyway, right? Because
I bet she was.
no, when she got
she was thinking like jewellery.
no, right?
That showed her. That surprised you, hasn't it? All right.
So hang on, wait a
You
minute.
thought it was a holiday, didn't you? Yeah, look at your face.
You don't know me at all. So hang on. So did you give these on Christmas Day?
Right, what happened is she got in from work that Saturday, right? And I said, look under the tree.
Knackered. At least it's Christmas. Yeah. At least I'm gonna get a little bit.
I said, look, you got some stuff under the tree, right? So
Did you give her a sugar lump?
Right, she was really chuffed with that. But she said she was a bit puzzled because I didn't know we had any wrapping paper, right? So I ended up using wallpaper.
You didn't take it off the wall though. You had some.
No, it was some left over, right? So she said, why have you used wallpaper? I said, well, I didn't have any paper and you were getting in a bit and I wanted you to have a surprise. So she said, can I have a feel of them? I said, no.
Presents.
She thought, right, I've got the right thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Christmas Day, I said, no, don't get carried away. It's nothing really good. You know, we said we weren't going to buy each other much. So there you go, open them.
Yeah, go
And
on. Can I just ask, had you received your present from her yet?
yeah.
So what had you received?
What did they have? Had some shoes,
Nice.
right? Getaway game for PlayStation.
Nice.
I'm just totting up
Just
the
part
value
of the value
of
of
this.
those,
Go
yeah.
on, yeah.
And just also think about how much fun and pleasure you get from them.
Yeah.
Although, of course, condoms, I can see
Well,
see the appeal.
Well, right. Okay. So
yeah,
I think
but
I can.
also add to that bit 150 quid for a meal. If you're going to start totting up, 150 quid for a meal. I bought some shoes, 72 quid.
Yeah, that was after the event, though.
It doesn't matter.
Alright, so you'd received these, dare I say it, thoughtful and nice gifts. You handed over the box of condoms. They were wrapped up. She
Well,
unwrapped them.
yeah.
Go on, take us through it. Walk us through it.
Well, it's not something you play with on Christmas morning.
Oh God! Oh, right.
But when she opened
What did
them,
she say? What did she say?
Well, I wrapped them twice as well, so she thought it was something really good.
Extra
Like,
protection.
Right.
And
So she thought it was something really good.
and then
So the disappointment would be doubled.
Yeah, go on, yeah.
then she just opened it and went, oh yeah, so what's on the telly? And that
Cool,
was that. That was
ungrateful.
that.
What an ungrateful woman that is.
Well, she got stuff.
Fancy not wanting
I told her.
a box of economy condoms from Boots.
I said to her about the thing about, you know, it's all about the surprise and that, innit?
Yeah.
You explained that to her?
Yeah,
What, after she'd unwrapped it?
yeah. And she was alright about it.
Yeah. She understood.
Rick, you know I suggested to him that he buy his girlfriend a gift. I'm worried I've done more damage to the relationship by suggesting that than if he had just forgotten.
Next time you've got to go shopping for her yourself, Steve.
I think I might do.
You've better go shopping for her yourself.
I'm glad it's all over though. It's mental.
Yeah.
It annoys me. The whole thing annoys me, and she knows that as well.
Yeah.
She should know. What, she still insists on having Christmas once a year?
Well,
Well, I'm you know.
no, but well, anyway, what did you get?
I can't think what you bring to the relationship, Carl. I don't know what it is she's getting from you in this relationship. It's like she's
I
doing
think
all
we
the
know.
work. Oh, yeah.
80 times. Oh God, Carl! I love it. You're brilliant. I know what she's getting. He's the.
What though? He's not thoughtful.
No, but he's thoughtful. He's the best he can do with the brain he's got. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He's doing his best. He's absolutely doing his best. There's no.
He's working at the limits of his powers.
Do you know what I mean? Though he's done as well as he can with what he was given.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
and that's admirable.
Yeah.
It's like I think he's done better than you'd expect. I bet his teachers didn't even think he'd get this far. Do you know what I mean?
What? Find a girl.
No, well, yeah, a job, a girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Clothe himself. He's done really well. What do you think, Carl? You think you've done well?
I think I've done alright compared to some of my mates.
What are they doing now?
Probably not that much. Do you know what I mean? Mrs. Matthews said I wouldn't be an high flyer. I think I'm doing alright.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I have a holiday every year. Got somewhere to live and that.
Yeah. Got a new flat, haven't you?
Yeah, so...
So where are they then? The condoms? Did she show them to her family and friends?
No,
Take them into work. Look what
I'm
Carl's got.
surprised she told Ricky, actually. I was a bit disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go shouting around.
Well, she was so
I got.
excited, Carl. Clearly. She was just so pleased and proud.
All right. Play a record. We'll come back to it.
No, that's it now.
mood dying over morning after, leaning back on my chair in a greasy.
No. Oh, no, that's it. Streets, Don't Mug Yourself, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington, a regular Santa Claus.
I'll leave it.
Oh, dear. So, Rockbusters?
Rockbusters, first one of the year.
Do you want to explain it? In case we've got some new listeners. Might have, you never know.
Chance to win some stuff. I give you like a cryptic clue and some initials, and it sort of makes up a band. So an easy one that we did at the start was an Exploding Pet, AK, Atomic Kitten. Yeah, that's how it works. So there's 3 of them. It's email only. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk and you win all that stuff Steve was talking about. Right, first one, £42 for a torch. £42 for a torch, that's a bit pricey. That's D.
That's D.
Yeah, right.
Just give us it.
Write that down. So £42 for a torch, that's a bit pricey, isn't it?
A little bit of enhancement.
Yeah.
Bigging up his growth. Oh,
okay,
God.
that's D.
The second one, he'll fit some chocolate to your feet.
Say that again?
He'll fit some chocolate to your feet.
Is that he will fit some chocolate to your feet? He'll.
Yeah.
He'll fit some chocolate to your feet.
And the initial there is A.
That's A.
Yeah, and the third and final one, do you think your kid will get that strawberry for me?
Do you think? Say it again.
Do you think your kid will get that strawberry for me? That's WP.
Right, now, I just better warn people. You really got to get into the mindset of Carl here. These are not real cryptic clues. These are not cryptic clues that you do in the Guardian or the Times crossword. There's usually something wrong with them. It is usually, what's the word? Completely change the word in order to make it fit.
Yes.
Often. So just be careful. Don't be surprised.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you want to give us them again very quickly?
Alright, first one, 42 quid for a torch. That's a bit pricey, isn't it? Alright, that's D. Second one, he'll fit some chocolate to your feet.
Can't think of any. I can't think.
That's A.
And do you think your kid will get that strawberry for me? WP. Right, so
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Some great prizes to be won.
Yeah.
Richard Ashcroft, Science of Silence. Steve, if there was a record of the week, that would be a record of the week.
You're a big fan, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's make it record of the week.
Yeah, that's record of the week. Richard Ashcroft.
Excellent.
Science of Silence.
Brilliant.
No one gives us anything anyway. These pluggers, they come in. We get things like homemade bands that they've pressed it in their garage.
Yeah.
You can hear their mum in the background going, "What are you doing?"
Exactly.
Mum! We're recording this for XFM!
Yeah.
104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Carl, what have you got for
I
us?
was just thinking, the irony is, we're the only people on this station, I think, who play their own records, aren't we?
I know.
There's loads of people who do.
Rubbish.
John Kennedy plays what he wants.
He's on in the
Yeah, but he's on, he's on 3 o'clock in the morning, no one's up.
Zoe, on Drive, she plays some stuff.
What do you mean, what does she play?
Fat Boy
Whatever she
Slim,
wants to
probably.
play.
Here's another remix.
You know.
I won't say who it's by.
Christian plays some of his own.
Does he?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but they're probably novelty songs, aren't they, buddy?
Right, listen, right, yeah, New Year and all that.
He's great, isn't he?
Rockbusters is on the way, we're getting some good stuff coming in.
I have to say, I'm amazed. Every answer I've had so far has been correct. I listen to the clues, I've got no idea. And I know you, Carl, I spend time with you.
Have
I know
you seen
how
the
you work.
XFM listeners? Well, of course they're the same as Carl.
Sure.
Of course they've got the same mindset.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
So what did you do for New Year, incidentally?
Well, I cocked it up a bit. Right?
You're joking.
Go on,
You're
here we
joking.
go.
You're joking, mate. Go on.
I went and booked a
You
table.
got the wrong day.
No, right? booked a table at a restaurant that was shut. Right?
What?
I booked a table at a restaurant, and the one that I called, it wasn't the one. The call had been diverted. So Suzanne said, "Call them up and see what they're serving." Right? Because I forgot to do that when I booked the table, right?
That's great, anyway.
Because the thing is, right, it's a restaurant in Covent Garden, but they've got one in Victoria. But when they answered and they said, no, Victoria, I thought that was the person who was answering the phone. Do you know how some people say the name?
Right.
So then when I called them up and said, what
You thought he sounded a bit funny.
Right? So,
I'm confused, Carl, but probably not more.
It was
no
a
more
branch.
than you would have been on
Okay,
the
it was a
other day.
branch of a. He doesn't want to give the restaurant away, so he phoned it up. There's one in Covent Garden. They answered the
So it's
phone.
not, the restaurant's not called No.
No. They said no. Victoria.
Why can't we name the restaurant?
I don't know why.
Are we
It's not
scared-
libelous.
Are we scared that, like, are you scared people are going to sort of see you in there because it's your regular haunt?
no, it's just that, you know, you get paid for stuff, haven't you?
Right.
I mean, it's,
Okay, anyway, so you've
I would have
got...
mentioned it before New Year, but it's not...
So did you go all the way
is
to
it?
the restaurant to find out that it was closed?
No. What happened is I called
Was that the
them
name
up.
of the restaurant again?
Right, the restaurant's called Christopher's. They've got one in Covent Garden, they've got one in Victoria. He phoned up, he went to book, it's a lovely restaurant, I've been there often, I recommend it to him. He phones up, said, can I have a table for new, he said, no problem, sir. Right? And then, so then I said, oh, we better call up, see if they've got any haddock on the, menu. And he went, hello, and they went, hello, Christopher's. Victoria went, Victoria? I went, yeah, he went, oh no. That's it, innit?
So then I just said, no, I'm not going all the way over there. So I cancelled it, right? So when I called up Suzanne and said, look, I've made an error. The place we were going to is shut.
Was she
So-
surprised again, or?
So we're not going. So she said, oh, try some other places. And I did. They were all booked up, right? I was fed up anyway. I hate New Year. It's always like this, isn't it? So I said, look.
You know the common factor in all these stories? You hate Christmas, you hate birthdays, you hate New Year. It is you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll sort something out. So I went to Tesco.
Leave it with me. Went to Tesco's, boots were shut. Got a lovely plate of condoms.
Did you just stay in and play with her birthday?
blowing them up?
Staying
I've done some balloons.
Well, it was. I think we did stay in. And I watched that thing, that, 100 Greatest Moments, which was annoying me. Did you see, there was a nudist on it? You know how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Right? Did you see him?
Man with two knobs.
There was a man with two knobs on it, and a nudist who just like wanders about the house.
But it said, and when he visits people, I was thinking, who lets him visit? I go,
Exactly, yeah.
But he must go there with trousers on and go, hello, lovely to see you. Can I just pop all these off? Well, not really, no.
And I tell you what annoyed me the most. They had a white sofa. If you were a nudist, you'd get a darker one. Right? So anyway, right. So we ended up watching that. That annoyed me. And then I was tired by about 11, and I said, "Oh, let's go to bed." And she said, "You can't." And that annoys me, the fact that because it's New Year, you got to stay up, and it's like, well, why can't we just? You should bring it forward, so in case you want to
Quarter to 10.
Well, you stay up, and it's like my eyes were dead heavy, and I was like, oh, I want to go to sleep. So just stay up, and then it's midnight, and you go Happy New Year, then you go to bed.
Well, not everyone, Carl. Some people have a little party.
So
it's over with anyway.
yeah.
So, are you 86 years old?
It just gets on my nerves.
Do you ever enjoy? You never seem to have any fun, Carl. This is what disappoints. This is what worries me. I feel like you're going to die.
You're here,
young,
you're here, Carl, with us two. We've got three, as I was just saying to Steve, three of the greatest comedy minds ever in one room, and Steve pointed out since the goodies.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Well, I mean,
It should be party central.
yeah.
So anyway, right, so this is when I spent time thinking of new ideas.
Right.
So that's when I came up with, what did I come up with? Rituals.
Yeah.
This is about, it's good to have a flathead in India.
And just rush past.
Just
that
run,
again.
yeah.
It's good to have a flathead in India.
Is that it?
Well, what they do is they put wood around your head and sort of clamp it, and the flatter head you've got, apparently the more attractive in some part of India, can't remember. So that's a ritual.
So I don't know where to start with this.
No.
Well, leave it. We'll be doing that. Well, we've done it. That's
So that was
for
the
this
first
week.
one, wasn't it?
This week!
Right. We've also got Do We Need 'Em, which we carried on from last year,
Okay,
which
we'll
is
look forward
finding
to
out, what animals we need in the world, which ones we can get rid of. I'm talking to experts and that, finding that out. We're doing Rockbusters, that's underway, we're getting emails in. And, what do you think of that then?
What do you think of that then, of course?
I love this that he treats his show like it's a checklist for what he's got to pack for holiday.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? He just goes sun cream, yeah. It's all like it's done. Look at his face.
No, but I try and come up with stuff that people will remember and go, that's interesting, I'll tell my mates that in the pub. Another one I'm thinking of doing, do you know the film Around the World in 80 Days? Around the World in 80 Days. And what I do, I give you like little things, like little bits of information about countries, so that if you go, you'd go like, oh, I don't want to go there.
It's a terrible thing to say, and I apologise. I can't think of the PC word for it. But I think Carl is slightly retarded.
Yes. I was just thinking the same, yeah. Yeah. Is there something we can do about that? Is there...
Just play a record, just keep the...
Could we get ourselves registered as a charity?
I think so.
Recognize him, or at least to have suffered
Badly Drawn Boy, Born Again.
On XFM, 104.9.
I was just looking to see if that's a new single. It looks like it probably is, Rick, if that's of interest to you.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
So, well, first of our regular features with Carl, we've got Rockbusters, that's rolling. There's people coming in, they're getting them right. I don't understand it myself.
As ever, Rick, you'll be amazed and confounded.
So I don't know the answer, and I haven't looked at the answers. I just like that moment. It's like when you go down Christmas and you're excited about a present, and it's like some condoms. You know what I mean? Well, I love that.
That moment.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how he's going to top that next year.
I don't know how he's going to top that. All I can think of is some corn plasters. Right.
It's alright, love. The batteries are included.
Got your pumice stone. Right now. Do we need them?
Do we need them? It's something we started a few weeks ago. We're always talking about animals and insects and that. And it's like, you know, if you took an animal out of the world, would we have problems? Right?
Would it make any difference?
Yeah, would it make any difference?
We did jellyfish last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
We sorted that out.
The woman said we've got to keep them.
We do need them, because turtles eat them.
Yeah. So, I've moved on. Octopus.
Do we need the octopus?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I'm working through a load of animals, right, that and finding out whether we need them or not, right?
Right.
Because, like, jellyfish, to me, I'm a bit puzzled by them. I don't really know why we need jellyfish, and I spoke to some expert.
Turtles eat them.
What?
Turtles eat them.
Yeah, I know, but do we need turtles? Do you know what I mean? It goes on and on, doesn't
We
it?
need humans.
Well, you know, I mean, I might get to that bit, but I need to sort out the animals first. I've got a lot on. So, the thing is, I've left the jellyfish. We know we need them, right? So, octopus.
Yeah.
Right, I know they're pretty brainy.
Incredibly brainy.
A story that I heard, I don't know if it's true, but there was some science lab somewhere, right,
Yeah.
where they had some octopus in it, and they had some crabs,
Yeah.
and at night, the octopus was like getting a bit bored on its own in the dark and that, and they sort of come alive in the dark, don't they?
Yeah.
They like the dark.
Yeah.
And the octopus had its eye on the crabs, and at night when it's dark, it was getting out of its little cage, crawling along the floor, getting in the crab's cage, getting them out and eating them.
I don't doubt it. We put jam jars with the lids on with crabs in, and they'll open the jam jar and...
You're joking?
Yeah.
Even I sometimes struggle with them.
Yeah, you don't do it... you don't do it really, really tight, but...
Alright, so they're not that clever then?
Well, they would, if they were strong enough, they'd open it, but they're just not that strong.
Oh, that's mad. Right, I also know that if they get hungry, they eat their own legs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're deaf.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't live very long.
They can squash themselves into small jugs.
Oh, yeah, they can go in a demi-john through the narrow neck and that.
Why do they need to do that?
Because they're the sort of crevices and holes that they're hunting for crabs and things through.
So, would they be better if they were smaller? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. But octopus then, if Noah said to you, you know, we're having a clear out,
Yeah.
we've got too many animals to look after and that in the sea, taking up too much room,
Right.
do we need them?
I think there's other less useful things in the sea than octopus. Limpets, they could go.
Limpets?
Yeah, they just sit on a rock and do nothing for 50 years.
But they're not getting in the way then, how big are they?
Oh, not very big.
Yeah, you see, I might come round to them, but I never think, oh, you know, I'm sick of seeing these limpets. Whereas octopus, you know, crawling about, opening jam jars and that.
You'd never see them though, they're really rare.
Well,
We get 2 or 3 caught a year, it's quite amazing.
do we need them?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Well, we'll just have to keep them then.
love the fact that Carl can confuse the scientist.
Yeah. Yeah, because all systems of logic break down.
I know,
Everything they've ever
even the
learned.
scientist was going, well, get rid of limpets.
Yeah. Now, who was that guy?
I think his name was Chris,
And where was he from?
in a place called Megavissi, where I went one year.
Megavissi.
And he's he's a scientist, is he?
I think he's got a fish shop or something like that.
He's got a fish shop.
No, he doesn't.
Well, like an aquarium type place.
Oh, right.
So,
A fish shop.
It wouldn't mention chip shop. It wouldn't be past him that he, a winkle store. He's got a winkle store at Poole Harbour.
Yeah, that's an expert.
Oh dear.
but what have you learnt from that then?
Well, we don't know whether they're deaf or not, because the bloke in the chip shop couldn't confirm it. They eat their own legs. Think of
That's a
that.
bit weird.
Isn't it?
They eat their
weird.
own legs.
Eat their own legs if they get hungry.
Right.
And they grow back, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
If you eat one, they'll grow back.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can put them in little jars and that. If you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's like no, but do you know, like, you know, people have a go about being cruel to animals and that. But what he was saying there is, right, what they've watched an octopus do, they've got hold of a crab, right, so that'll be being stressed out because it's out of the water.
Yeah.
They've then stressed it out even more by putting it in a jar,
Right.
which he didn't like,
Uh-huh.
and then an octopus is crawling about on the jar,
Yeah.
and the crab knows that the octopus wants to eat it, right? So then it's having more frets
Yeah.
because of that, and then
Hanging from the side
they let
of
the octopus eat it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty.
Do we need crabs?
Do them next week, yeah?
Well, I want to sort out snails first.
Right. What's your pitch for snails? What do you know about snails?
I know that bats eat them. They can sleep for 13 years.
Right.
Can you believe that?
He said to me, snails can sleep for 13 years. And I went, right. He went, oh, thing is though, if it was a scientist, and he was, he was looking at it, and he put it in a quiet place, it might well doze off. He said it wouldn't be the same if it lived on the streets. And then we went on to a whole thing about homeless. He wants to do a game show with celebrities being homeless for a week.
What do you think?
Actually, I've got to say, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad, is it?
No.
Right, do you know how, like, Lenny Henry went to the jungle?
Yep.
Right? And you've got who else did it?
Joanna Lumley on design.
made slippers out of a bra. Right? So I'm thinking, like, get a celebrity and say to him, no, just because, I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why all this came about. When I was walking back from that Christmas meal that I bought my girlfriend for 150 quid,
Lest we forget.
right? I was walking down Mortimer Street and there was an homeless fella there, and it was like, oh, it's really, really bad. But the weird thing is, it was about, I don't know, probably about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, about 9, right? And he was asleep. And I just thought, do homeless people ever think, I think I'll have an early one tonight? Right, that's what got me thinking. It's a bit weird, the whole lifestyle of it, the fact that he had an early one.
So, the fact, what, if it's a bit weird that he's sleeping not in a home, but on the street?
No, it's just that if
interesting.
I was
Interesting.
homeless, I'd probably stay up quite late, because it's not nice. Do you know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
Just being homeless isn't a good thing, is it?
No.
People forget how bad it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But surely sleeping gets you out of reality. They sleep because they're tired, they can't sleep very well, so they need all the sleep they can get.
Yeah, but sleeping's nice if you've got a nice big bed.
What, you think that they can go, I'll stay up, I'll go to bed at 2, I'll go straight to sleep and I'll pop up at 8. The clock goes off.
Well, it's just what I was thinking, right? So I was thinking how bad it is, and it's, especially this time of the year,
Yeah, it's terrible. It's the
really
worst thing.
And to sort of give it some publicity and get a bit of help behind it, get celebrities, someone like Phil Mitchell, maybe,
Yeah.
off EastEnders, who's a big fella, he can look after himself, put him in a shop doorway, have some cameras set far away in a building or something,
Yeah.
they can film him,
Right.
and it's up to him how he raises money for food to
He
eat.
could sign autographs.
Well, they wouldn't know him though, would they? Because you never look
Who
at a
could you
homeless
get? You
person.
get, what's her name? Gail Porter.
Yeah.
Gabby Roslin.
Right, yeah.
Narinda from Big Brother.
Yeah.
Who else would do it?
I got a game show
Les
idea
Dennis,
called,
I reckon,
I
would
got
do
a game show idea called On the Game. And what happens is, you get Narinda from Big Brother,
Sugarcane by Sonic Youth on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Go on, Carl. What's next? Are you going to do your war feature? What is it called?
What do you think of that then?
You do that now?
It annoys me a bit, right, because we said before Christmas that we'd come back with new stuff.
Yeah.
Gave you a title to work on, that Ridiculous.
Right.
You came in today, I said have you sorted it out? You say no. Steve, you're having a go at me for wanting to get music out of the library for you.
Yeah.
You haven't got any new ideas.
Sure.
But you're dissing mine.
I'm not dissing yours.
Well,
I'm a massive fan of them.
Good vibe off you.
Well, I think that's very harsh. I just asked you when were we going to have war. What do you think of that? I'm a big fan. I'm excited.
Well, it's not that good, to be honest with you.
Well, I disagree. It sounds brilliant.
Right, well, it's a bit of a tweak of Educating Ricky. Just some information on wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
World War II.
World War II? Alright.
The world champion chess player. He helped someone out in the war.
It's the detail I like.
No, he
You know, it's nearly a history programme, isn't it?
I was watching those repeats of The World at War
Yeah.
that were on in the mornings, you know, incredibly
Did you
detailed, but
lot-
they've got nothing on cards.
Did you write a lot of that David Sharma series?
He was able to use his skills that he has to play chess, because apparently chess is all about probabilities of like where a piece will be put.
Right.
And they got him in, and they said, "Can you help us out?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "Right, where should we like?"
Hitler has just moved his queen.
So that's a
He
fact.
sent in a bishop that ran diagonally
Yeah,
through the troops, knocking them over.
Sorry, wait a minute, Carl. So they got a chess
Sorry,
player.
that's it.
Well, yeah. It's just like, oh, what do you think of that?
Again, that's not a story.
But it angers me that he says that I'm down on the ideas when I mean, that's beginning to shape up as quite interesting. I thought you were going to tell me which battle or which event
World War
was
II.
you...
World War II.
It's not a
But
battle.
which bit of your World War II?
Like the middle bit.
There's 6 years worth.
Yeah, well, probably about a bit in.
Guessing.
I thought, let's...
Guessing.
Well, alright, yeah, there is a bit of guesswork, but it doesn't matter.
But that could have been an interesting thing if you told me it had an impact on the
When you
Normandy
look at these
landings.
things, do you go, bloke wants help chess, oh, I'll use that, and run away from the computer?
No,
or
I
run
read
out
it.
of the bookshop?
I read the first line where I get enough information, I just think...
What do you mean you read the first line where you get enough information? Imagine if you were someone's defence lawyer, and he was like, he's on death row, and went, I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
I read the first line, I didn't read the file
It's
He
completely.
was in a hotel in Texas, right? Go on.
It's enough.
Oh, some other
It's
stuff.
enough,
He
it's
definitely
enough,
didn't kill him.
it's enough, it's enough.
And
Yeah,
I
that's
just thought
interesting.
they always take ages on deciding where to go.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I don't know, the FBI
you know,
agent
but there's a
that's-
better
I
way.
don't know what you're saying now, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it takes-
Actually
when,
don't know what
when
you're talking
people
about.
play chess, they take ages to make the move. So I'm just thinking, there's probably a quicker way
Of what?
than finding where a boat is, than getting a chess player in.
I don't know what you mean now.
Alright,
Are you talking
well,
about
Tell you what,
battleships now?
They should have got an expert battleships player in.
Right?
yeah. What? Carl,
Right,
what?
forget that one.
Or
then.
someone
No,
who's
no,
really
no,
good
no, I'm not being funny, but what is that? What are you telling me there?
Someone who's really good at risk. You should have brought them in.
Yeah, Cluedo.
Right,
yeah.
Another fact. On,
Oh, that's enough then, is it?
Well, they use expert Cluedo players, but the police use
Oh,
expert
don't they
Cluedo
do
players.
use, yeah.
If ever there's a murder in a country house,
Do you think they use that old Chinese fella on the front of Mastermind?
Mastermind, yeah.
Yeah, for logic problems. The Enigma code was broken by top Mastermind players.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, second
And a guy
fact.
who's had a couple of rounds of Yahtzee and done very well.
Yeah.
Second fact about the war.
They, for engineering, they use a lot of Jenga players.
Absolutely.
To
Whenever
do
they
it.
want-
Will the building collapse? Oh no, let's pull this, let's see.
If
Yes,
they
it
wanted
will.
to identify,
What are you doing?
if they wanted to identify spies,
Yeah.
bring me the champion of Guess Who.
Was it one with glasses? No, right, sit
Has he got
down.
a beard? Is it Bernard?
Right, Carl, sorry, go on.
Another war fact. So
Go
you're
on.
saying it's rubbish, but look, you love that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Second
you're
one.
absolutely right.
The first bomb that was dropped on Berlin,
Yeah,
it didn't kill a person, but it killed an elephant.
I think that's true.
That is true.
Right.
Okay.
And the last one,
Is that all you know about
in
that?
the same neighborhoods.
See, that's interesting, isn't it?
But
was
that's
the
enough.
But no, it's not though. Because I mean, listen. Most people want to go. Oh, what was the elephant doing there? Did it land in a zoo? Was it a pet? Was it a lost elephant? Did they aim at the elephant? How did it kill it? Did it hit it on the edge?
favourite elephant?
yeah, was it Hitler's favourite elephant? Did it then have one ball?
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things. You know, why didn't he catch it with his trunk?
Did it have an effect on German morale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yes.
elephant is kaput!
Oh, Jumbo! I don't want to fight anymore!
Saying that he knows all about something.
Cheering breaks, painkiller on XFM. Carl's getting a little bit stressed, aren't you?
No, I just, you know, got to keep focused, got to keep the show good and that.
Yeah.
You know, and in the
Yeah.
new year, the idea was come up with some good snappy stuff.
Yeah.
And today, I just think it's been a mess with you, to be honest. I mean, this is the sort of thing I'd prefer to do after the show as the producer.
Yeah.
But
How do you know what
Yeah.
Do you know what, I think it's a discipline problem.
Is
I'm
it
not sure Ricky's got any.
because I just put sellotape on your head?
well, that's a bit to do with it. But just, you know, let's just focus.
But I
on
didn't put it when there was any hair on your eyebrows. I put it across your forehead.
Right. What do you think of that then?
Yeah.
We've got one more bit left.
Brilliant.
One more fact. The French, right, when they were at war,
David Sharma, I just imagine him just introducing amazing.
Which war was this?
it was still the World War.
One or
World
two.
War- World War
Go
Two.
on, it's 50-50, go on. yeah. yeah.
Right, World War Two. What the French did.
I feel like you can't.
Everyone needs a code.
Everyone needs a code. Yep.
A code when you're in the army.
This is a
and
Disney song.
that, right? And you know, to sort of give the go ahead if you want to go into battle and stuff.
Okay.
Right? So,
Needs a code.
but the weird thing
Game
is,
show.
right? The weird thing
Everyone.
is, do you know what theirs was?
Go on. Do you?
Yeah, I know what it is. It's
So what
a bit
was
weird.
the French code?
For what?
To sort of say, right, yeah, go on
But they had more than one.
on this day.
But I don't know what day it is.
On
All
this
right.
day.
And what, it's like saying, what am I thinking of? What was the battle? What was the...
Okay, so alright, what...
Look at him, look, he's genuinely confused that I've asked this question. Right.
It was
No. If you ask me a question, ask me the question correctly. What was the code for battle during what battle?
World War Two.
No, that's not a battle. That's a war.
Yeah, it was in a war. Yeah.
I don't know what to do. He confuses people.
Alright, okay, what was it, Carl? What was their
Yeah.
code?
What
was
are
the
you
French
thinking
code?
of? Right.
John's got a moustache.
What are you talking
My
about?
lungs are gonna burst.
That was a code that the French used. You know, like, I mean, I just think it's a bit daft, right? Because you could come up with that by mistake.
yeah. Two French blokes talking in the trenches, and they see a major walk past, and they go, "Oh look, John's got a moustache," and they all go and go, "No, I was just talking. What are you talking about?"
Well, the way I don't think that's a good code. I'm not.
I
you
don't
know,
believe it is the code.
No, it is seriously.
And what?
And
It's
would
just
it,
that
would
no
it have
one
been,
talks
would it have
about
been
it.
said in French?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the weird,
Guess in. Yeah.
No, but
What?
you see, I can't even be bothered
What are you saying, Carl?
because it's not a very good code. Do you know, like we've talked in the past about, you know, things you don't see, and I said an old man eating a Twix.
Yeah.
If they use that's safe because no one is ever going to see a man having an old man having a Twix.
What do you mean?
Well, use that as a code. Don't use a saying, John's got a moustache, that could crop up. It's like the war's kicked off. How did that happen? Well, I said John had a moustache. Oh,
Two French folks would never be saying John's got a moustache. Why
wouldn't
would they?
Because back then they were fashionable.
He nearly makes sense, doesn't he?
I assume it would have been Jean.
Yeah. No, probably John.
And how would this code have been I mean, who would have
I don't
announced
know, I
this
just
to
read
everyone?
it. I read it like that, Steve. That's what was on the internet. This is a code that was used. John's got a
Don't be
moustache.
angry with me!
I know, but you're always asking questions.
Because I'm interested in history.
Yeah. No, you're genuinely interesting bloke, Carl. We'd like to know. I'd like to film you secretly. You know, like they do, like Nature Watch, when they put it in like a, you know what I mean, a Badgers sort of thing,
Warren,
right?
yeah.
And they just watch it. I'd like to see what you do, pop around there. I wish I could download the music in your head, because it'd be wah, 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 and you see something weird, you go wah, 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 wah. And then you read that and you go wah, and you write it down, and that's what comes out. John's got a moustache.
I'd like to see next Christmas.
Imagine the French, right, for their battle cry, for their battle code to know it's going ahead, they're going over the top, is you never see an old bloke eating a Twix. Imagine that.
Yeah, but all these things are things that I think in my head.
Keep them in there!
Do you know, like
Please.
before when I was talking about going out on, you know, Christmas Day,
Yeah.
having a meal on the way back, seeing a homeless person.
Yeah.
And then I think, God, that wouldn't be good. I know, TV show. Right? You can think of things like that. When I saw the homeless fella, then I got talking to Suzanne about when I had to sleep in my car.
What do you mean? Go on.
Let's play a record and come back to any sleeping in the car.
God, I can't wait.
Play a song for the lovers.
I was watching last night, Carl, on cable TV, 1987's amazing Sign of the Times Prince in concert film. It was dynamite. I thought to myself, how brilliant he is. It reminded me of the gig I went to see last year. He played this tune. It's from the album Parade. Okay, I don't want to discuss whether or not Prince is acceptable on XFM or whether he's a genius. He is a genius. That's the end. That's the end of the discussion. Play the tune. He's dynamite. It's a song for the ladies.
I remember, I'm going to tell you, I was on the way here. You know, do you remember John? He's got a moustache now.
I can't believe it. Lads, no! No! It's not on! It was... The battle's not on!
Look at your face, Carl.
The elephant did die.
Yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah.
We've done it. We've done it.
So they knew each other. They had worked together. They were both doctors. Ogden was a general practitioner.
Sometimes it snows in April from the lovely Prince.
Brilliant.
From the album Parade. He doesn't always have to get up and have a rock about. He can just sit there at the piano.
After the break, Steve, a brand new feature I've just done. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. You see, you say Ricky Gervais doesn't put any work into the show. He's just done that.
I'm
going
going to tell Carl some amazing facts from the world of science, nature, politics. 4 are real. 1 is absolutely ridiculous. Cat Stevens from Catch Bullet 4 album, Sitting. Little interesting fact for the nerds. We got it down to 2 songs to do this intro music to The Office. It was that one and Handbags and Glad Rags. We went for Handbags and Glad Rags. Interesting, isn't it?
It is a fascinating fact, except of course I still feel we should use that one, except we couldn't because Cat Stevens' People wouldn't let us, or it was too expensive or something.
I don't know. We re-recorded Rod Stewart one. That was too expensive.
I still prefer that one.
Yeah. Difficult.
Decisions.
Anyway,
decisions.
that's ridiculous, right? 5 facts. Right, 1 is totally made up. Alright?
Just do 3. 3 and
Oh, well,
one.
there's... Okay, right, oh, let's see, what should I do then? There are more moves...
carefully planned.
There are more moves possible in a game of chess than there are particles in the universe. You can't get any colder than liquid nitrogen. I think it's minus 273. You can't, and it's impossible to get colder than that. The honey badger has got skin so loose that if you grabbed it by the neck, it could come away from its skin, turn round and bite you out of its anus.
That's ridiculous. Right, Rockbusters then. Wrapping it up.
It needs some work, that game, but I see it's got a lot of mileage.
Right, here we go then. The first one, £42 for a torch. That's a bit pricey.
Go on.
That was D.
Yeah.
That was Daylight.
Wait, I thought Delight, and I thought it doesn't work.
second one.
I thought Delight doesn't work.
Second one.
There's no, wait, Dear Light, it doesn't work, it's Delight.
Second one was...
No, Carl! It doesn't work!
Yeah, but if we're going to continue with this feature, you've got to tweak them a bit, right? People have got it. We've had loads of emails, more than ever.
But yeah, I'm
sure
you said that before. I just
Do you know what I mean? Let them decide. If they don't like it, they won't email in, but they're loving it.
They've all come from the same institution.
Go on.
He'll fit some chocolate to your feet. That was A. That was Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. You've heard of a blacksmith?
But a smith is just a workman. It doesn't necessarily. No, you can have anything. You can have a locksmith. A smith doesn't just mean it does shoes.
Right. Do you think?
Aero cobbler would have worked. Unfortunately, there isn't a band called Aero Cobbler.
Get ready with a winner. Do you think your kid will get that strawberry for me? That's Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett.
I'll give you that.
I have to say that I don't know if these guys have won in the past, but they were the first people to email in. I mean, normally I just give it to anyone, but these guys, literally, you've given the clues, Carl. I'm amazed. Everyone seemed to get Aerosmith. Everyone got D-Light. Everyone got Wilson Pickett. I'm absolutely stunned. You know, they deserve it. They deserve the junk. Prizes. So we'll give it to Jonathan and Louise, who, as I say, may have won in the past, but as I say, they were very, very quick. You've got to beat them if you want to win. And they're from Wrexham.
Brilliant.
So good luck to them.
So
I
that's
hope they
that
enjoy Jerry's yoga diet.
Back next week then. Yeah.
See you later.
See ya.
Cheers.
No, down to the toilet.
To the lavatory, yeah.
And with all the remote controls, and that would be amazing.
To be fair, you're almost there, Rick. I've certainly seen the toilet tubing when I've been around in the past.
My dad's bed, right? My dad would never change his chair. Mum would try and get rid of it because it would just fit to him, and it'd just be absolutely dilapidated, right? And
What, he's like, he had like his own chair in the lane.
yeah, his own chair, right? And then and his bed, right? When they had separate rooms towards the end, and his bed, right? It was just, it had it for years, and it was a big dip. It was just like a spoon in the middle, where it was concave, and my mum used to just vacuum it out.
Oh!
Where all the little bits are like, you know, he'd have a fag in bed, or he'd do his roll-ups in bed.
Yeah.
And,
oh,
he
that's
said to him, why do you like that bed? It's curved, you know, he goes, it means I can't fall out. I did, it's like, in a hammock. That's great.
That can't have been good for his back.
Well, I don't think it mattered towards the end of it. A hammock would be, I really would love a hammock. I think a big beanbag would be good, wouldn't it? With a telly.
I bet a beanbag as big as a bed would be amazing.
Yeah, but this is still the telly thing, because do you prop yourself up a little bit to watch it? Do you watch it on the side, which is annoying? Do you turn the telly on the side?
I've always wondered about that.
The weird thing is, right, you know, I've mentioned before about certain things that are just right, like your hand, 5 fingers is just enough, right? One more,
The sex tips.
it ruins stuff.
Yeah, one less.
One less, and you know, I was saying about drying your pots and that, it'd be really slippery and that.
Yeah.
Right? And the weird thing is, right,
I think that's what nature had in its mind.
no,
Yeah.
but like my mum and dad, right, they moved to this little house, right, and they had loads of furniture that they've collected over the years without chucking out, and they've moved to this small house, so they just had too much furniture, right? And they had this double bed, and that was for, like, you know, when friends come round and that, they can stay there. But the problem was, he wanted to sort of put these wardrobes in the bedroom, right?
Right.
That went on either side of the bed.
Sort of wrapped around
Because,
there,
yeah, but because the room was so small, he thought, I can sort that out, right? And he sawed the bed.
He sawed the bed?
He sawed the whole thing, so you've got, like, your mattress, your bed, and everything.
What, he just sliced some off?
Like a big sandwich, just cut a bit off the edge.
Cut the crust off.
But how much is that, would you say?
About 8 inches, 6
About
inches.
8 inches.
But hold on, but that won't work.
Jibber jabber.
Because it'll all fall out the side, and then what happened to the springs and all the supports and stuff?
He
It would just
sorted it
collapse.
out. It didn't all come out and that. I mean, it's not the comfiest bed. but the weird thing is, he did it, and even though it's only like that 8 inches or whatever, it totally ruined it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, of course it would.
no, but what do you think I mean? I don't mean it ruined it as in it looks a mess.
No, it would have been uncomfortable.
Not even that though, just the fact it's that little bit shorter. It's like, God, for 2 people this is hard work now. This is like, you haven't got enough room, even though it's only 8 inches.
Why did he build the wardrobes first, without measuring, putting the...
I think he did all that and then thought, oh, it'll easily fit in there, and it didn't, so he had to sort of saw a bit off the bed. But it's just weird how only 8
Did
inches...
he use one of those electric saws?
Yeah.
And there was
That's
just,
amazing.
presumably there was just kind of
What
sort
did
of
it-
material and wood just flying everywhere.
What did he do with the legs? Did he have to move the legs in a bit?
He moved the legs. Looking at it, right, once it's got like the quilt on it and everything, you wouldn't know. I was like, yeah, that's alright, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
And I went to bed at night, he's like, you know, sleep well. Got up in the morning after having about 45 minutes sleep and said, something not right with that.
Yeah.
And he
You
goes, "What do
really are
mean?"
your father's son, aren't you?
I said,
There's something not
I said,
right
it's
with
not
that.
right. And he said, oh, well, I said, what have you done? It doesn't seem the same. And he said, oh, I had to shorten it, sort of thing, you know, to fit in the gap. I said, well, I can't sleep in it. I said, and there was a big kerfuffle. My mum was saying, look, you have our bed then, and we'll sleep in that one. And my dad was like, sod that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ruined.
You know.
Some idiot cut it.
So there was a big debate going on about where we should sleep, and I was saying, look, you know, I only come and see you like every couple of, you know, probably once every 6 months.
I'm not being funny, but next time we go home, can I film it? Just for, do you know what I mean, Channel 4 or something?
Well, you know, I mean, the Osbournes is not on at the moment. The
Yeah, no.
Pilkingtons. That would be extraordinary.
Oh, can we film it?
That's brilliant.
Is anyone from Channel 5 listening to this show?
Or Bravo.
Yeah.
The Pilkingtons.
Play
Play a record?
What do you want to play? Do you want to play, do you fancy playing something of yours?
What, have we got
I
anything?
don't know, something that was sent in to you, maybe?
Oh yeah, no, I'll tell you, yeah, I'd like to play this. Yeah, Bronze Age Fox. Band from Bristol, my neck of the woods.
Always
play the
working,
tune, play
Carl,
the tune.
always working. He's
Play the
always
tune.
working. He's on the ball. He's on the ball. He's on the Bobby ball.
Yeah, so 3 years after.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years after.
I just want to make sure I got that timeline right.
Yeah, and they on this Photoshop that was, I think, like
Coldplay, The Scientist, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl, what are you doing?
I wish that's how you spoke.
Right, what are you doing then?
Let's have a quick reprise, if we could, of the Rockbusters clues.
Yeah, Rockbusters, if you've just tuned in, you've missed it this week. Here's your
Well,
three
no, you
clues.
haven't. That's why we're giving the clues again.
Yeah, no, but if they haven't,
Eh?
What?
say if they've been busy. And
Just give the clues again.
first one,
God.
don't argue with him, because he isn't going to change his mind. That's AA. Second one, he always gets what he wants and doesn't worry about anyone else. That's P. Yeah. And the third and final one, oh, I might have to put that woman in the oven. AB.
Interesting.
Are we telling them or still?
No,
still chance? Yeah.
people have still got a chance to win those extraordinary prizes. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
We've
It's
still got
emailing me.
features to come though, Steve. It's
Go on.
incredible. We've still got Ritual. Where, that remember last time? People in India, it's good to have a flathead.
Yeah.
We've got Do We Need 'Em? I've got That's Ridiculous.
That's a great game.
What should we do next? What should we do next?
It's too much.
Do we need him out of the way?
Get Do We Need 'Em out of the way?
Yeah, just,
Let's explain it again.
if you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out, you know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff. Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish, we've done octopus, she said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet,
Yeah.
right? And finding out if we need them or not, right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
yeah, for sure.
Well, sea snails.
Well, yeah.
Snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. Don't know about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What sort of sense do you mean by important?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it, right? Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating the stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones, but that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No. I didn't know
No?
that.
Bet you're glad you answered the phone today.
They also picked out teat, although
Right? They love beer,
Beer. Yeah. Who doesn't?
and also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right. I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not. I think sea snails are pretty important. Yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae and they provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish. Any animal. Why do they exist?
Would you be upset if someone said we're getting rid of them?
Oh yeah.
You would be.
They're an animal, I wouldn't.
Forget being like favouritism and all that again for them, right? There'll be other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job. Don't be worrying about that. Because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Who's saying?
I mean, it's tough, right? Because what we know about both of them is that
just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you work in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice.
Right.
And you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked my advice and I'm giving it to them, so, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, What did they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around. Their descendants were around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages.
I think that sounds a bit. I don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So snails.
That feels different.
Do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got to, it's not for us to say do we need them or not, we can't.
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Go! I'm proud of you. That was
getting really quite annoying.
I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just don't tell
the
them.
thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he could look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He was getting livid, you can tell.
Oh, God. Brilliant. So he's been around a long time, but what have they done? Well, that was great, Carl. Play a record. Well done.
Bit of Amy Man.
Oh, I'm obsessed with this song, Red Vines. It's brilliant.
These guys, that's not great. Especially the one thing I didn't mention was just the whole idea. Well, you sort of touched on it. Oh, yeah. The whole idea.
I love that. Amy Man, Red Vines. XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington.
You mentioned earlier when we had our regular email from Dickie Anderson.
Yeah.
Randers, as I call him.
Dandy son.
Yeah. You mentioned it because we didn't get anything from him last week. We didn't get anything from him last week. Anyway, he's obviously listening. Rich, because he's emailed in to explain his absence. Dear Ricky, sorry for not tuning in last week, only I was in HMV returning the 14 copies of The Office I got for Christmas. That's from Randers. So, he's explained himself.
Oh,
he's
dear.
excused himself.
Oh, Anders, we should get him on one day.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Carl. That's ridiculous. 3 amazing scientific facts, one of which is spurious. Okay? Okay, 1. Girls can't throw because the part of their brain that allow men to throw properly in a girl is used up in emotion. 2. Gravity isn't instantaneous. It works at the speed of light. The force of gravity. 3. Statistically, you're more likely to be trampled by a donkey than die in a plane crash.
No. Even though the last one sounds daft, I think I've read that. About the donkey thing.
Okay.
So, girls... What's the first one?
Girls can't throw properly because the part of the brain that allow men to throw is used up in emotion in a woman. Gravity isn't instantaneous, it works at the speed of light. So when you drop something, the force kicks in at the speed of light.
Do you reckon, Steve?
Well, it's not for me to say.
Is this a trick one where none of them are ridiculous? Or
no, one of them's one of those 3. One of those 3 is not true.
Right, well, it's definitely not the donkey, right? So,
which I feel like makes sense.
I reckon the girl one throwing stuff
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well done.
Well
Very
done.
well done indeed.
Yeah.
Very well done indeed.
That's 2 out of 2 he's got so far.
Well, there you go. Well, I'll teach you some stuff, yeah. Right?
I've always been fascinated by the donkey fact, because it is an extraordinary fact that more people are killed apparently by donkeys
Yeah.
than they are by airplane crashes.
Well, I suppose in countries where they're used, and, used a lot, that, they go a bit mad and squash it.
But my concern is that when you go on a plane, there's so many checks. I mean, it takes some 40 minutes to go through all the checks: the air pressure, the cabin pressure, the fuel, checking the flights, the takeoff, all the rest of it. Our checks for donkeys.
Nothing.
Did someone close the gate? I think so.
Exactly.
That's our
Is he
donkey
annoyed?
checks.
Is he annoyed or not?
Yeah.
You're not working him too hard, are you? Yeah. He's got his hand. Is there two holes for the ears? Yes.
But I think that's what's happening. I don't think it's accident. I think they're picking us off. I think they're so annoyed that a nickname for them is ass.
Yeah.
And they've got to wear the little hat. They've got to ride give kids rides on the beach. And I think they're just sort of annoyed.
Yeah.
Maybe they're sort of just picking us off one by one.
Yeah.
Teaching us a
There's
lesson.
not. If we had the same stringent checks on donkeys as we do on international flights, maybe there'd be a little less there.
Exactly. Wise words.
Cheers.
Wise, if slightly incoherent words.
Go on, Carl.
Got that right. Acid. I would sort you out with some science.
Brilliant. I forgot the puns in mind, didn't I? I forgot the puns.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right, so, you asked to sort of be taught some science and that last week after being taught about war, so did some research, and there's a few things, I think we'll just cover one of them now.
Go on.
We've talked a lot about hairy kids.
We have
I
discussed that a
love
lot.
the fact that Simon Sharma has never started a programme like that. The Jacobites. We've talked a lot about hairy kids. Go on.
It's a little bit, I mean, it's not your traditional science stuff, but it's still interesting and it's a little bit, it's still
Yeah, we talked about hairy kids. We have disproportionately, honestly. I think this show's talked about hairy kids more than any other radio show.
Well, it's one that...
Sorry, I noticed both of you there dropped the H, or the H, or however it's
I
pronounced.
had to.
So airy
kids, yeah.
hairy,
Yeah.
hairy children, not sort of airy, kind of light-headed or...
Yeah.
Well, there was the case of the one who lived in China.
Yeah.
And...
Which was weird for 2 reasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, go on.
One was like, he was covered in hair.
That's all we do, yeah.
And the doctor sort of checked him over and said, well, yeah, he is hairy, but he's quite healthy, apart from he had a little bit of eczema and a boil. That was the main bit of the story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But this one, right, we have sort of talked about it, and you weren't having any of it at the time.
What?
This next bit of science I'm telling you about.
Go on then.
Right? Remember when I told you about a lad who was living at home with his mum and dad, right? Everything's, normal life, go to school, that sort of thing. Then, I think his mum and dad had an argument, and it kicked off a bit, and he thought, I'm sick of this. It's happening all the time now, they kept having arguments, so the kid ran off into the woods.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Now, he left, he went and ran in the woods, and he ended up living with some monkeys.
Right.
Right? And he thought, this isn't a bad life, there's no arguments going on.
Sure.
He was getting on with them. And the weird
He loved
thing
bananas.
is, this is where the science bit comes in.
Oh, sure.
He grew a load of hair on his body.
That's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
It's an acquired characteristic.
I bet someone will back me up on this.
But no, you can't. You can't grow hair like that. You might get a little bit more down here. They might the erectile tissue might, they won't fall out as much. That would, but you don't actually grow a big mane if you're cold and you're a human.
Well, he did. This lad did. I know it sounds a bit strange in that, but he was living with the monkeys, and because it was cold, his body reacted to it.
Listen, he was no hairier than he would have been if he was walking around naked on a cold day, with or without living with monkeys.
After everything they did,
The fact that he was living with monkeys makes no difference.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get, picture it in your head what it's like.
Although Mickey Dolenz was always pretty hairy.
Right? So he was living with them, and he went into town or something one day to get some food, and the people there were like, hang on a minute, that isn't a monkey.
He went in naked.
No, he was there covered in hair.
Yeah, but naked, but covered in hair, so it was decent. It was.
Yeah. But that was a weird thing. They thought it was a monkey in the shop. And then
So presumably he had a big long beard as well, because he couldn't shave, could he?
No, he's just covered. He looked like a monkey.
And they were happy to serve the monkey, were they? There's the monkey, he's
How did
buying
he
a
walk?
newspaper and
How
some
did he
milk.
walk? How did he walk, Carl? Did he walk upright or whistling along?
The picture that I saw on the internet, he was on all fours, but I don't know if that's when he was running away after they'd sort of, realised he was a kid. But this was a picture.
So he was a kid as well. He wasn't even like an adult with the beard.
No, he was a kid.
Brilliant.
And
The beard kicked in a little bit.
So
earlier.
listen, so the
Go on.
people caught him.
You're an idiot.
People caught him.
Yeah.
Shaved him. Right. Got it all off. Didn't grow back again.
Right.
You're an idiot.
Well, like I say, people will have heard this story or read about it.
You're an idiot.
And they'll email in. They don't let me down.
And they'll agree that you're an
And
idiot.
no, they'll have seen the story.
You're an idiot.
So that's a little bit of science.
Somebody just having
You're an idiot.
really serious unfortunate.
Did you see the stylish kids?
Unbeknownst to him.
Cherish you, my love.
Libertines, Time for Heroes, and XFM 104.9. Right, okay, so have you got anything that is science as opposed to nonsense?
Well,
Kid went off with some monkeys, grew hair, came back, shaved him, it didn't grow back. I mean, just think. Right, something else.
there's a few things I found.
Yeah.
There's a fella
Oh, God.
who had hiccups for 69 years. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
There's the dog with the wig that we've discussed.
Imagine if you just tuned in.
Yeah.
There's the dog with the wig that we've already discussed.
Did we discuss that?
Not really.
Did I not tell you what he said? I did, didn't I? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
What else have we got?
You're probably going to be wanting to.
Well, there's something here that you sort of know.
Is this going out live?
No, this is happening. Right?
Go on.
But remember when you talked about sponges?
Yeah.
If you get a red sponge and a blue sponge.
You liquidise them, pour them back into a tank. After a few hours, that they know which was which, and they reform as a red sponge and a blue sponge. Yeah.
I thought that was weird when you told me.
Yeah.
Looked it up, did a bit of research.
Yeah.
Thought that's sort of sciencey.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with a mouse's brain.
Okay. Explain a bit more.
No, you can't.
If you get a dead mouse, put its brain into a blender, blend it up, leave it standing for a bit.
Making that up, aren't you? You're confusing this. You watch Nigella Lawson make some sort of pudding.
No.
What do you mean? It won't work with the brain.
Well, it does with I mean, not human brain. Don't be trying that.
Although,
but, no, a mouse one. A mouse one.
and what happens?
It sort of reforms. Goes back together again. No, it's because apparently it's made up of the same stuff as.
But it doesn't, does it? Because if it's dead, if it's a dead brain, the cells can't act anyway. The fact the sponge is that it doesn't kill the cells, it liquidises them, it doesn't kill the cells. So it couldn't be a dead brain anyway. It would have to be a live brain taken out from a live mouse for the cells to be getting oxygen and working and being sensitive to each other. And that, I don't see how that could work like it does in sponges.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
You're not a scientist.
I've just sort of read it and gone, oh, that's interesting, I'll tell Rick and Steve about it.
Yeah.
You're quizzing me as if I've come up with it, and someone else has done it and said it works.
Sure.
So I'm not...
Do you think ghosts are behind it, or do you think there's a scientific explanation for it?
No, it's just one of them weird things, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what you sort of covered for this week.
Well, that was another barnstorming feature. Pilkington.
Is that it? Is that the two things you got
Thanks
this
very
week?
much for that.
Well, I mean,
There's nothing behind them. Do you know what I mean by this? There's not like a weight of intellect behind these facts.
Why don't you make that your science project for this week? Find a dead mouse somewhere, Carl, and a blender, and we'll bring that in next week. We'll do it live on air. See what happens.
Oh. Do you feel sort of let down a little bit sometimes with our reactions?
Well, what are you expecting us to do? What are you expecting us to just look at you, open-mouthed, staring at you in awe?
Just like, oh God, yeah, where did you find that out? And like,
Yeah, but
We know.
You never tell us.
We know where you found it out. You looked on the internet and a strange homemade website by a maniac somewhere, who puts on stupid things that he heard through Chinese whispers. That's where you get your information from. I doubt that anything you've ever come up with is verified. If it is, it's luck.
But what do you expect me to do for you? Do you know what I mean? I'm just...
You know, I'd like to know what the source of the information is. I'd like it to be, you know, a research study by the University of Columbia, rather than, you know, a guy who calls himself Mr. Pickles. Got on a website somewhere, www.lunatics.com.
I mean, oh god,
some kind of evidence. Do you know what I mean?
I must warn you now. You know that Steven Spielberg thing's coming, Taken, yeah, about alien abduction. When you watch it, just remember this: it's not a documentary. Okay.
All right. And
all right.
You remember E.T.? We were discussing that earlier. You know that's not fact. It's not actual fact.
Brilliant. Black Star Radiohead from the Bends on XFM 104.9.
Rick John has emailed in.
Yeah.
It looks here like he's maybe trawled the web himself. I mean, I don't know if people just immediately leap onto the web every time Carl says something in his defence.
I think our listeners are always on the web.
Yeah. Anyway, he seems like he's reprinted here a news story, which seems to confirm Carl's Monkey Boy story.
Yeah, what was the news
Doctors
story?
baffled by boy 6 covered in ape-like hair. Doctors in Kazakhstan are baffled after finding a 6-year-old boy covered in ape-like hair.
Yeah.
The boy, called Ablay, was found in a remote mountain village close to the Chinese border. He's covered in thick hair from head to toe and has an oval-shaped skull. Doctors suspect nuclear radiation or a genetic disorder may be responsible.
Fine.
But it's an interesting bit
But,
here.
but sorry, it's not that you could have genetic defects. I've seen lots of people born with long noses, 5 feet, etc. I'm saying that he wasn't normal. he wasn't normal, and then went to live with monkeys and grew the hair.
Well,
that's my
true.
point.
But it says his mother and father are distant relatives. Such marriages are common in the Kazakhstan mountain hamlets. Now, the village elders were consulted as to what to do with him, right? Now these are the village elders, these are the wise men of the village. These are the people presumably that all year long are telling the village how to live, how to survive.
Yeah, you're
what
in
to
charge
do.
because you've lived longest.
Yeah, exactly. You're presumably solving any kind of moral conundrums, any sort of awkward things. Do you know what they suggested that they do with their hairy son?
Go on.
Send him to the circus.
The Carl's nodding.
Put him in the circus. That was what they suggested, and the mother actually wanted him to go to school.
Instead of I don't know, school or circus, I don't know. We don't know what's better for him.
Exactly.
I'm not sure.
We must consult the elders.
What do you think, Carl?
It's not a bad life, is it?
Not the circus?
Yeah.
Well, you ran
Kids
away
will
from
love
it.
Kids will love it. But remember that thing that I saw about that fella who, I don't know if you're talking about really, is it?
Go on. Tell us now. You've hooked me. Come on. You can say it. It's okay. What, are you worried that it might be insulting to someone?
Well, it's not nice, but...
Well, you're not taking the mickey out of it, you're telling us... Go on.
It's just, it was in that book again that you got me. You know, the book full of weird people.
Go on.
And things that are wrong with them, and hairy people, and...
Yeah.
Lad with 3 legs and that. There's a fella... basically just a head and a little body on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Right? Picture of him having a shave. And he was shaving with his mouth bit.
With his tongue?
Like that on the radio.
Yeah.
Just like
Carl is now doing an impression of a man shaving with his mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's just a head, bear in mind. He's doing an impression. Imagine a head with a very tiny body on a skateboard shaving with its tongue. That's what Carl was doing.
Oh, and he was depressed because he kept getting hats for Christmas.
but if you were him, you would just grow a beard, wouldn't you, rather than...
Oh, God.
Rather than go through all that hassle.
Caught in the wheels of his skateboard.
Clash. Rock the Casbah on XFM 104.9. Nearly it. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pimpton.
So the answers to this week's Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us the clues again and the answers?
Yeah. The first one was, don't argue with him, he ain't going to change his mind. The initials there were AA. That's adamant.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's good.
That's a good one. Second one, he always gets what he wants and doesn't worry about anyone else. That was P. That was Pixies.
Picks his, it kind of works, yeah.
And the third one,
I'll let you have that one.
I'll have to put that woman in an oven. That was AB. That was Anita Baker.
Anita Baker. It's good. Anita Baker. Yeah, I'll let you have all 3 today.
So
you've done well.
So do you want to pick a winner, Steve?
Well done to Mark Leder from Bow. He wins those fairly mediocre prizes. Enjoy them.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, well, we've had a few laughs.
We've had a few laughs, a few tears, a few scientific breakthroughs.
Exactly.
Gotta get a picture of Carl somewhere in the national press, just his little round head there.
I had an email here. Carl is trying to distract attention from the fact that he is a monkey raised among humans and horses and has failed to develop hair.
It's, I can just imagine him being the second cleverest in a troop of monkeys. You know what I mean?
Second cleverest.
You know what I mean? So,
he's picking fleas out there.
Oh, look at his little face. I'll tell you what, Heat, I'm gonna get a picture of you. Just put it in the radio section of Heat. Just, this is what Carl looks like.
Oh, another email. Someone said, when the monkey boy went to the shops, he was naked. Where did he keep his money?
Good point. Didn't happen then.
Right.
Oh.
So that's that. We didn't even do all.
What do you mean?
We didn't get down to ritual.
Oh, come on, give us ritual. We have quickly.
No,
we have got time. Just do it. Why haven't we got time? It's 10:02.
Right. Well, we've got a long track to finish on.
Well, just do it.
It's.
Are
you familiar with the place called?
Go on.
Easter Island.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what they do out there?
Eat eggs. I don't know.
Well,
Go
that's
on.
close.
Go on.
Right. What they do, right? There's a lot of people living on an island.
Yeah. Easter Island.
And to find out who's going to be running the place, they
don't hold elections, do they?
They have these birds that lay like expensive eggs on an island.
Expensive eggs. They lay expensive eggs.
Fabergé eggs.
Yeah, go on.
On this island.
Yeah. Easter Island?
Once a year. No, off it, like about 2 miles out. Right?
Oh yeah.
And
Whitsun Island.
And the sea.
Shrove Tuesday.
Yeah. No.
Steve, we'll play off.
No. Tell us. Right, finish it now. Don't you dare. I'll
see you later.
Johnny Mitchell. You. Blue Motel Room from the album Nigeria. It's the song for ladies this week. Thanks for listening. Next week with Easter Island.
The Flaming Lips. Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me is Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington.
Good morning.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to own up straight away. I've done very little work towards this show this week. I'm a bit busy.
You surprised me.
Yeah. So I apologise if it sounds a bit sort of...
Thanks for being honest though,
Well, no, I don't want people to go, oh no, that was a bit shoddy this week. I hope it's not going to be that every week. Yeah. So it is because I've done very little preparation.
Okay.
So...
Right.
Whereas
normally...
You'll probably have to help me out.
All right.
You have to do some of the work. Carl, you might have to help us out a little bit as well.
I don't know, but I mean...
I know Steve's done nothing towards it either. So... The onus is on you a little bit here. I love the fact that it's still listed as either Ricky Gervais or Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant.
Essentially, we don't need to be here, really.
No, but I know now people listen for Carl. Everyone I've spoken to, for people on buses, to comedians like Ross Noble mentioned you the other day, and they go.
People on buses?
I've never been on a bus.
You
for
haven't been on a
years,
bus
no.
for like 12 years,
Yeah.
have you? People on buses. I don't know why I find that so funny. I just know the idea of you being on a bus. The idea of you handing
I'm not
over
on
your
a bus.
fare.
They're shouting out from the window.
Right.
They're going, "I love Carl."
Right.
I'm walking along.
How much is it on the bus?
20 pence.
No, come on, seriously, how much is it?
One adult for terminus, please.
I love the fact, they do that thing where, like, if they're interviewing
What is it?
Paul
50,
Newman or
60p?
someone famous,
No, it's quid, isn't it? It's a quid.
They always say, how much is a pint of milk? And that's supposed to prove if you're sort of still in touch with your roots or whether you're too big a celebrity.
Yeah.
You've got no idea how much it costs on the bus.
Quid?
It's not a quid.
120.
No, it's not 120.
Pint of milk, about 50p. 30p.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow.
Because it's fascinating because you gave this stuff up before you became a celebrity, didn't you? You were always
lazy.
Because people always say to me like, Ricky seems a bit obnoxious.
Who says that?
No, they say,
no. Who comes up to you and just says that?
The guy on the tube did it. I swear to God, he came up. He said I was watching an interview with Ricky. He said he's not a nice piece of work. I went, well, he said, no, I've got friends like that. And it's like they're always talking, they're a bit irritating, and you sort of let them off because they're your mates. But I was going, well, hang on a minute. He went,
well, two things. It's sort of my job talking, and being interviewed, essentially you do have to talk.
Yeah, so about yourself.
If that's his only criticism, then I'm not too bad.
No, he didn't think you were funny either. In fact, he had a whole list. I say a list, a petition.
It wasn't Dickie Anderson, was it?
It wasn't Richard Anderson.
I hope he's listening.
He's our biggest fan.
I'll tell you what, Mock Turtles need a remix by Fatboy Slim, don't they?
Mock Turtles? It's a great tune, but I'd like to hear it remixed.
Yeah. Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? Remixed by Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Ooh, stuff to do, stuff to talk about and that.
What's been going on?
Oh, before you came in, you saw it, didn't you? That experiment I was doing with the...
An experiment?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is as I walked in the building, I passed the little kitchen area, you were hitting Carl on the head with a tin tray.
Didn't it make a good noise?
It was a great noise. But I'm interested, explain more about the experiment.
Well, I wanted to see how hard I could hit him and make it resonate, right, before I either caved his skull in, or, you know what I mean? So, you had to hold it quite loose, so it could, like, vibrate, but you had to grip it hard enough to give it a good whack.
Right.
And his head's brilliant for hitting stuff on.
Is it?
It is perfect.
Carl, could we recreate that moment a bit later on the radio?
You'll notice that he's been on for 15 minutes, I haven't said a word. It's had a bit of an effect on me. Still a little bit shaken.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, do it again later.
We were talking about your head a little bit earlier, weren't we?
It's not going to mean that you're sort of a bit, fuzzy thinking, is it?
I'll be alright.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, can we recreate that later, maybe towards the end of the show? Just hit you on the head with various objects, see which make the best sound?
He said talking about Time Out. I said something like in Time Out, and he went, yeah, do you read that? I went, yeah, I read it, I get it every week, yeah. He went, there's no point though, is there? He said, because it's like a telephone directory. You know, if you want to look something up, you look it up, but you'd never sort of browse the telephone directory. And I went, that's an interesting point. He went, although I did. When I was in Scotland, I just looked up how many Macs there were, and there was 42 of them. How bored are you in your hotel room in Scotland to suddenly start working out how many people start with Mac?
Were you sat in your room, there was nothing else that you could think of to do?
I've been working, it's when we did the show from, XFM did some stuff from Edinburgh.
Yeah. You were sat in your hotel room?
Sat in the room, waiting to sort of go out and get some food and that. Sat there.
Why were you waiting to go out and get some food?
Because we were all going to meet up. We're going to meet up with, with Simon.
So you thought, I'm not going to switch the TV on. I'm not going to read a magazine.
The telly was on. Nothing was on. I wasn't impressed with anything that was on. So I'm looking around the room. I had a couple of the free shortbreads.
I love the fact he remembers.
Yeah.
He remembers a specific biscuit he had.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I had a couple of them, and then looked around. There was a Bible, and I thought, well, I know about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing in that I don't know. So, got the phone book up, and I immediately thought, there's a lot of Mac this and Mac that in Scotland. Macintosh.
Mac Daddies.
Macateer.
Yeah.
There's loads of names. So I thought, I wonder how popular it is.
Just how popular it is.
42 pages of Macs.
Did you count how many pages there were?
Yeah.
Did you just work out from the numbers on the bottom of the page, or did you literally
I counted.
Right.
And
how many do you reckon are on a page? There's a lot in there. If someone could tell you approximately how many names they get on one page.
How long did it take you, this whole procedure?
What, the counting?
Yeah.
Not that
No,
long.
it's
It's
just
42
counting
pages.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
They're all
And what
together.
did you do once you digested that information? What did you do with that information? Did you tell
stored
people?
it, haven't I? I mean, look, how long ago was the Edinburgh Festival?
I stored it along with the biscuit. I love to get in his head. I imagine it's a big warehouse, and there's lots of partitions for weird stuff like kids born with tentacles and things like that.
I imagine there's like quite an old caretaker, and you go in there, you say, "I'm looking for it." He goes, "Hang on, I know where they. I put that somewhere. Hang on.
Is this the one when they shave the cat? No, it's not shaving the cat. This is the Max. The Max. I know Scotland, the shortbread. Well, don't give me the shortbread because that's putting me off. But
the what's the name though? Do you remember last week I was talking about the hairy kid? And
I think that's every week, Carl. That doesn't narrow it down.
Alright, well, we were talking about that hairy kid in the woods, and did a bit more research this week.
Okay.
Found a good story out about a monkey.
Right.
Which I'll tell Ricky a little bit about it.
Tell me, come on, tell it now.
No.
I reckon we should keep this.
It sounds exciting stuff.
That's got 'em, right? So we'll be doing that. we've got
the audience.
We've got Rockbusters again this week.
Yeah.
We've got Do We Need 'Em?
Yeah. What are you trying to get rid of this week?
Cockroaches.
Right.
I can't think of a reason to keep them.
Looking into that, well, I sort the matter out. That's coming up.
Excellent.
We've got. I'm teaching you some more stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He phoned me up today. Yesterday it was. He knows he's been researching, like educating Ricky. He said, "What do you want to know about?" I don't know. He said, "You interested in space?" And I went, "Yeah." Phoned me 3 hours later. He went, "No, nothing about space." I went, "What?" He said, "I couldn't find anything interesting." I said, You couldn't find anything interesting about space.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's pretty interesting, Carl.
It's big, but there's nothing there. That's it's like the Millennium Dome. So what I'm looking at, right?
But no, wait. He said, "Is there anything else you want to know about?" I went, "All right." I went anthropology. He went, "What's that?" I went, "Study of man." I sent a man. He went, "Like what?" I went, "Like our roots from caveman through and all the." He went, and I said Australopithecus, Neanderthal. He went, "We know all that then." I went, "No." He went, "Right." He went, "Do you want to know how a lung works or something?" How a lung works. And I said, "Well, tell me how a fridge works." He went, "Oh, so it's just the gas, isn't it?" I went, "Brilliant." I went, "So how a microwave works?" He went, "I know." I said, "Fella walking past in a laboratory with a bar of chocolate in his pocket, went past some sort of ray thing, it melted it," and he went, "Hold on." That's it. That's explained to me how a microwave works. Right.
So today we're doing sort of medical-ish type things under the banner of colon then, educate me.
Oh God. Do it again.
Colon then, educate me.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So that's like, go on then. So colon. So that's a little heading. You're going to be learning 3 things sort of medical-ish before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, do you want to
Pretty much, yeah.
a bit of suede?
Come on then.
How many O'Reillys are there, do you think? No, little task for you.
Suede, animal nitrate. That's really got a Johnny Marr influence at the end, that guitar, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Still
brilliant.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Carl.
You're going to love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy.
Yes.
Right?
No, leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened. He lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's what happened.
Looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo.
Oh dear.
Right? So...
Trouble's brewing.
Loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. It's
What
dangerous.
do you mean? What type was it? Do you
Just
mean
let him tell the story.
Was it a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
I
was a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It was
it's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a chimp. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
do they
and
go on
he's-
holiday together?
Well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off
pool together.
just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, this goes on for a while. He's, you know, they're getting on well on that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right. So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks he could live at home with me. Yes.
Yeah.
He'd be getting on a storm.
Yeah.
Right. So he takes him home, and before
Is
you
this
know
the
it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried because he's already imitating you and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white Zuki.
Oh, brilliant.
right. So anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. Pinky tips.
As it finishes the day off with
Finish the day off with what?
It doesn't have to move a piano at one point, does it?
Finishes the day off with a little brandy.
Yeah.
He pours himself one. Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
I'll tell you what, Carl. You're a maniac,
listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is hairless. Right? Apart from his head. Right, so he's got a nice
So it's the opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah,
this is what
but
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right.
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he's
don't even
shaved
know.
or if it's
How did
direct?
it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
Alright,
can see
well,
if
okay,
I've gone
keep
wrong.
going.
So anyway, so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying.
Well,
he's
it gets
got
to a
his other
point when he
chick mates
says there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
you are you're talking such...
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me... Oh, I'm fascinated.
It's nearly over anyway, right?
It sounds extraordinary, Carl.
So, he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand, only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, please.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And,
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He was built.
Yeah, he was well done.
So what about that?
What do you mean, what about it, Carl? It's obviously not true. It's obviously not true.
This wasn't on the internet, this was in a book. So, it's not a quick joke and just, put it on a website. This is in a book.
I don't understand how...
I love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy. And he... Oh,
What was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know, maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing, Carl? He's not going to be talking with her, they're not going to be playing, like, Trivial Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that, he just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Right.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
Talking to the songbirds yesterday. It's just the way I'm feeling.
Feeder. Just the way I'm feeling. XFM 104.9. I love that. Carl, you're panicking. You just remembered a song from your childhood, and I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to give out a number. Please take this number down if you can help Carl. It's 08700 800 1234. Right.
I'm not that bothered. We were talking about a track from the 60s.
Yeah.
Mighty Quinn.
Yeah.
And it was on the same compilation. My dad had the tape in the car, and the tape was always on in the stereo thing in the car. And I used to sort of sit through all this stuff I didn't like, but knowing that coming up soon was a song about a monster with purple eyes.
It wasn't Puff the Magic Dragon.
It wasn't that.
A monster. There must be something else about it that give people a clue.
Do you remember a chorus or a few lines?
It says something like, it was a one-eyed, it had big eyes, purple, and it eats people or something.
The Big-Eyed Purple Eater, wasn't there a song called something like that? The Big-Eyed Purple...
And it was a hit, was it?
I'm sure there was. A song which is something like the Intergalactic Purple Eater or something like that. It's a novelty song. Rubbish.
What, by the Bonzo Dog?
Yeah, it's that sort of thing, yeah. I'm sure
if you know what Carl... Look, the telephones have gone mad!
We'll find out in a bit. I mean, I'm not that bothered, I'm not going to buy it. It's just that we were talking about songs and that. It'll be good to know who it was. But
yeah.
Right, Rockbusters.
Okay, now how long... Where did we get to the phone?
What, do you want to just answer
Well,
that?
that's the first, so just answer it. Just see...
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Alright.
Yeah, that song, I don't know if it's by, or is that what you want?
That's the bit I wanted, really.
What's the name of the song?
Well, you know how it goes, it's like, one night down and drawn down the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I don't think you've helped much, though. You can't remember what it's called or who it's by.
Well, no, I mean, I know the tune. Yeah, that's about it.
But he's done well. Steve, he's done well. He's given up his spare time to call in and sing us a song. Don't diss him.
Rick, I'm concerned he's just only marginally remembering it more than Carl is.
It was actually in, I think it was in the Blob. No, it was in something like the Blob, actually. I think Steve McQueen was driving away and it was running in a sequence.
This is very familiar. Thanks very much, mate. See if we can get a title off someone.
And XFM.
Hello, yeah, I know the name of that tune.
Go on.
Was it the Purple-Eyed People Eater?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And who's it by?
Yeah, well, I'm just at work and
who is it by?
Came to my mind.
Do you know who it's by?
I don't know who it's by, mate. Sorry.
This is not enough information. I wouldn't phone in if I
didn't
didn't have
ask
half the information.
but we asked him just what the tune was.
But I want someone like Paul Gambaccini to call in. He knows what chart position it got to.
Okay, right.
Thanks very much. I don't think this is enough information. That's two people.
The thing is,
got
if you know the
information
title, we can put it in the internet, can't we, and find out who did it.
Yeah.
That's full of
Brilliant.
information.
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
I don't know why they bothered, frankly.
Right, listen.
No, I mean, I just think if you're going to bother to call in a radio station, have the facts. Have all the facts you have.
He hasn't got the facts, and he runs the radio station.
He doesn't run it. They keep him here like a like a pet, isn't he? They have him running around the office.
God.
Now listen, it's Rockbusters. I've got the prizes here. Rick, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've given away some shoddy stuff in the past. This is the worst collection.
Is it?
This is really scraping the bottom of the barrel, Carl. I mean,
let's hold on. The
how
phones
many
are
more
going
of these
mad.
can we give away?
If you're still phoning, hang up because we're not going to bother anymore. We're really sorry about that. Maybe email us or something.
How many of these can we give away? Rick?
Look at that. It's only Fools and Horses.
It's the Christmas special from not this year, the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, we have given away so many of these. I imagine there's charity shops throughout London
throwing them away.
Yeah, throwing them away.
Yeah.
So we got that,
dear.
and you know, if you didn't watch it, you know, if you weren't one of the 20 million that watched
blue-eyed, fat-legged, purple-eater, a big boy, they had a big and had a big boo. It's something like that.
And once again, the best chill-out album ever, with I mean, it's pretty much rubbish.
It was a big boo.
Actually, no, the songs were okay, but
purple eater.
It's just basically a collection of songs you might have heard on adverts. So enjoy that. Oh god, this one again, the best air guitar album in the world, Volume 2.
This is no longer an entertainment show. This is three people chatting to each other now and again. Sometimes we remember it's going out, sometimes we just take a call for our own amusement. I mean...
It's the same price again. It's the David Attenborough compilation of DVDs, which I'll be very surprised if actually makes it to you. I imagine someone here would have had that long before we posted it.
Oh dear.
There's a T-shirt in here.
XFM 104.9
You get sent a lot of
just in case you're wondering what you're listening to.
This is a Quicksilver T-shirt.
What is that? What T-shirt is that?
That's a T-shirt made by the Quicksilver people. So if you're a bit of a surfer dude, and by the look of the size of it, you're a midget.
You can't say midget.
You're welcome to it. And this is, I think, the piece de resistance, Rick. I mean, because you know the kind of fans we have. They're pretty cool cats.
Yeah.
Groovy guys.
Yeah.
So I imagine they'll be loving on DVD Doctor Who, the Aztecs. That's one of William Hartnell, the first Doctor's classic episodes on DVD
God.
there.
You know,
rubbish. That's rubbish, Carl. Those prizes. I'm ashamed to give them away.
Carl, you know our mate Johnny. He's a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Do you remember? He bought the Doctor Who magazine, and he went to the toilet, and Steve got post-it notes and put geek on every page, and Johnny opened it on the tube, right, and it had geek and everything, and Johnny brought in the new Doctor Who magazine, I think this week's or this month's, right, and they've done the perfect Doctor Who fan, right, what the geek is, right, and it looks exactly like Steve.
Alright, don't ever go, Rick.
It does, and he went, and I'm going to try and put it on the website. It's amazing. It's got your hair, glasses, it stands like you, it's sort of dressed like you, and it's only it's hilarious, and he was, I mean, I'm insulting you now, it sounds like an insult, but if you'd see it, you'd laugh. Play
Well, Rockbusters, right?
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Just a little bit annoyed.
Just, 3 clues.
We've lost all the energy in this show, haven't we?
Well, I can't get over that insult. I'm just a little...
No,
Three.
we did though.
It just came out, no, I can be honest with
things,
you, Rick,
3
it came out
clues.
left field. I wasn't expecting an insult.
No,
And,
but I think
There was a sense of camaraderie on this.
Just email in,
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
What are we doing?
I'm just reading out the clues.
Should we put this? Let's put this one in for the Sony Awards. Let's put this show in for the Sony Awards.
Play a song, Carl, because I need to discuss things with him. I've talked before about him
Edit
slagging
it
me
down.
off.
Get this down to 3 minutes. It'd be a great show.
Rockbusters in a minute. XFM.
Lonesome Day by Bruce Springsteen from his new album The Rising on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Foreman just phoned in and said to Carl, stick up for yourself, don't listen to that Merchant, he does my head in, he's so arrogant.
I don't think I'm arrogant, I think I'm mean.
Yeah.
I just think I'm sort of objectionable. I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's sort of nastiness.
Yeah.
I'm just not a very nice person. But believe me, I'm not arrogant, I think I'm pathetic. We've had a lot of emails saying, could you bring back White Van Carl?
Oh yeah.
Which is that section of the show where we ask the questions that the Sun asks
someone
various
else.
random punters of Carl. But sadly recently they've got very politicised and very kind of basically a little bit depressing. So there's not really anything appropriate, but I have trawled the papers looking for other questions posed in other sections of the Sun.
Good idea.
I was just looking here at the Dear Deirdre section, which is the sort of problem page. I don't know what your views are on this.
I'd love to see Carl. Oh God, can we get him a job? Just ask. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Right?
Well, here's one. I'd like to see your view on this, Carl. I'm a happy married 42-year-old woman with 4 kids, yet I've developed a huge crush on pop star Darius Dinesh.
Yeah.
It sent my hormone levels through the roof, and last night I woke my husband up at 4 AM for sex. We've been married for 20 years and he can't believe his luck. Recently I've been having...
I wanna go to I'll stop you there. Why are you telling me? Right, carry on. Sorry.
Recently I've been having erotic thoughts about Darius morning, noon and night. Yeah. I haven't felt like this since I was a teenager and mad about Donny Osmond. My husband is amazed at the change in me. We had sex twice last night and again this morning.
Again? Why are you telling me this? Yeah, go on.
This is just boasting. This is not a problem. It's not a problem.
What's the problem? No problem, just wanted to tell someone. Thanks very much.
I watched Darius on TV last night, and when my husband came home I dragged him into the kitchen and we made mad passionate love. Right, they did it then, twice last night, once this morning. That's 4 times. 5 times she's mentioned it so far.
Yeah.
She's doing alright. My husband, this is a great bit. My husband thinks it might be his new moustache. Or that I'm going through the menopause.
You were thinking of growing a moustache? Do you think it would change your luck with the ladies?
I love the idea, that's what he thinks it is. He's telling his mates in the pub.
You should go with these.
The old Tom Selleck.
5 times in the last 24 hours.
Hooray for sexy Darius. So, what do you make of that then? What are your views on that?
Hold on though, if that bloke is reading that paper, that narrows it down a bit.
It's got to be, yeah.
Who else did he know? His wife likes Darius, he's had sex 5 times that night, and he grew a new moustache. He's thinking, I wonder if that's me.
Maureen.
Yeah, go on.
But what's your concern? Because I'll tell you what her problem is. She's worried that, the reason that she's now kind of overly excited and she's, having this great sex with her husband is because she's actually fantasising about someone completely different, younger. She's having these wayward thoughts, and she's a bit concerned about that. What's your concern? What are your thoughts?
I reckon she's going to start shoplifting soon, coming out in hot flushes. Go on.
Just, they're both happy, aren't they? He's getting what he wants. She's happy. I'd say, yeah, whatever, get on with it.
Do you think that she should confess? She wants to be honest with him.
I wouldn't, because not that many fellas like Darius.
Right.
So if you're sort of thinking, she'd rather have him than me.
What do you think Darius would think of this?
He'd probably be happy with that. I mean,
what would you do if you got loads of phone calls, right, from women going, Carl, whenever you're on the radio, I just have to do it. Your voice makes me...
I'd say, alright, well, it's alright. I'd be happy with that.
Would you?
Yeah. Just in case anyone is doing that.
What would you do to sort of like egg them on a little bit to help them out? What do you think?
What sexy things would you say?
What do you think is your quality? What do you think people would find, pretty horny about you? Is it your sort of mank wine? Do you think that? Just say this. London shit, isn't it?
I think. Say that, but London, it's not that good, is it?
I think you've done it there. So let's
say something quite sort of sexy though. Say something like,
well,
I love to love you.
Say something sexy.
Say that.
No, say something sexy.
Suze answers to me, do you love me? I go, yeah, you're alright.
And the thing is, I know that's true.
Yeah.
I know that's true. That's brilliant.
Because one of the things that Deirdre says is that she's wondering if this marriage is going a little bit stale and needs to be freshened up. They need to give a new spice, a new spin to the marriage. What would you do? What advice would you give to spice up, something that they've been married for quite some time?
Get him. I think get Darius, all Darius things. Get David Snedden's new video on the telly.
What do you reckon though, Carl?
Just treat them. Do you know what I mean? Just surprise them now and again with stuff. That's what I do.
It's what you've got those condoms, didn't you? That you got 2
So hang on, what? You've never done that? What? You've surprised Suzanne with what?
I've like...
You stood behind the door and shouted at her when she comes in.
Don't drop the jelly!
Yeah, just the usual stuff. There was some free chocolate delivered to work the other day. I took her a bit of that home.
Nice of you, that's very thoughtful.
She didn't like dark chocolate, but I said, well, that's a thought. So, I had it. But,
you often benefit from any gift that you give her. The chocolate, the meal, the condoms. There's always something in it for you.
Yeah, there is. I love the idea.
She's got bored with a Christmas present now, though.
What, the condoms?
Yeah.
Or the food that she ate.
No, the condoms.
Yeah, she's got tired of filling them with water, throwing them at the passing kids, or putting them on her head and inflating them.
I love the idea of asking problems. What do you think of erectile problems? You know that Pele advert? He goes, "Be careful, we haven't got erectile problems. Call this number." What would you do if you're impotent? What would you do?
What's the advertising?
Just saying, like, you know, if you can't, you know.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Why have they got him doing it?
Well,
he used to, you know, he used to be able to keep it up for hours. The ball, and
yeah. What would you do if you
to advertise that?
No, if you suddenly couldn't get, you know, what would you do?
I don't think it bother me now.
I know you're 30.
You're talking like you're an 80-year-old.
No, but do you know what I mean? You sort of been there, done that now. It's like the boxing and the dancing that I did. It was good as a kid, and now it's like, take it or leave it.
You need to watch the Deirdre.
Supergrass, Seen the Light, XFM 104.9. We're a little bit worried. We might have a technical hitch here. We've had no emails, and usually we get loads and loads. So we're worried it's us. Can someone send an email? Well...
Yeah, just a test email.
Yeah, but we won't know if they have or not. They might just be ignoring us. No one might be listening, Steve, so this isn't proof.
I guarantee there's at least one person who would send an email. Maybe if Dickie Anderson's listening, he could do it for us.
Anders! Do us a favour for all the pleasure we've given you over the last few years.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
If you haven't heard the Rockbusters, might as well give them out.
Well, let's check the emails working before we do it.
Yeah, otherwise it's a complete... This whole show has been a sham and a farce and a waste of time.
Well, I think they can take that as read.
Right, educate me, Carl.
Right, well,
Go on,
say, right.
Educate me.
Well, what we're looking at this week, we've done war, we've done
we've nailed that. We've nailed war. We summed up war with a little French bloke whose battle cry was "John's got a moustache."
Right. So, and last week we did science.
What would you do on science then?
Airy Kid.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
So this week we're looking at medical problems.
I'm sure we do Airy Kid every week.
Medical problems. Then I've got a couple of things under the banner of. Colon, then educate me.
Yeah.
We've got, this is interesting. Right. Do you know if you have an operation on your brain, right, what they do is, I mean, this is why I'd never go to the doctors. I don't like doctors, because this sort of stuff freaks me out. Right. They can operate on your brain, and what they do is, they put you to sleep first, cut your brain case open,
your skull, yeah.
The brain case.
Yeah, yeah.
And then wake you up and operate on you. So you sat there with your head open, messing with your brain, and you don't feel anything.
There's no nerve endings, is there, in the brain?
But still, it's not right, is it?
Is it what you think they do it for fun?
No,
they
but
go on, Reg, wake him up so he's all freaked out.
Is it necessary that you're awake, do you think, or...
Well, they need the brain active, don't they?
When you're asleep, you're having mad dreams. I had a mad dream the other day.
Go on.
No, I might tell you about it later, but there's no sense to it. But, so your brain's still...
this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it'll turn out, I'll go, no, Carl, I was there, that wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
No, but... So, I mean, if I had an operation...
On your brain, heaven forbid.
Well, operation anyway, I'd like to sort of think, well, I'll have an injection, I'll go asleep, but when I wake up, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
The fact that...
Your brain case is open.
And they wake you up and you think, oh, is it all done? They say, well, have a look in the mirror. And your brain...
See, I don't think they do that. I don't think they try and frighten you when you're doing an operation.
Yeah, I don't think that you go about your business and they sort of follow you around, dabbling.
Yeah.
No, but it's almost like they are having a bit of a laugh with you.
Right, well, I'd just like to say now that they don't. Anyone who's going in for an operation on their head, do not ever listen to anything Carl says.
Why have you got to be awake? Because you'll be bored anyway, you'll be sat there.
They give you a telephone directory, look, and they say, look how many Macs are in there. That's the Scottish telephone directory. And, you know, time flies when you're counting that sort of thing.
No, but do you know, like, when you...
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm
asking me?
just saying how weird it is. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, do you know when you go for a haircut, right? And it's a bit embarrassing. Well, I don't anymore, but when you go for a haircut, it used to be
When you go for a haircut?
It used to be a bit embarrassing when, like, they'd wet your hair and they'd make you have that sort of Hitler cut because your hair's wet, and I used to hate it, and I think, do you have to do that? Do you know what I mean? You know
It's
what I mean?
similar.
don't
It's
you?
very similar to open skull
No,
surgery.
what I'm saying is, it's almost like barbers like to do that to make you look daft and feel daft for a bit, and there's women coming in and out, and you're sat there with a daft haircut.
Yeah.
And this is what that reminds me of.
Do you think they do it in a shop window? This brain operation?
I'm just saying, it's a bit
Do you
weird.
think, why are we doing it in John Lewis's? Just so more
I
people.
love
can
the idea that that's what doctors are doing. Let's make this guy look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Open his brain
Look
case.
at the twatty look with his brain out of his head.
Take a Polaroid. Reg, take a Polaroid.
Look at him. Look at his face. Right, clock his face when I give him the mirror. Get this on camera.
Put his fake nose and glasses
Sorry, is that? Did you teach me something then? Was that
I
educational?
taught you that your brain case can be open with your awake, and you just sat there sort of letting them get on with it.
Brilliant. I've learnt that. I'll never forget that. Right, go on. Anything else?
You'll love. Let's play a song, because the next one is amazing.
What? Even more amazing than that?
Yeah. Play a song?
Yeah. Bit of Bowie.
No email still, by the way.
No, I don't think it's working.
It's not working today,
Lady
so
Stardust.
we'll have to do a phone-in for Rockbusters.
Off the Ziggy Stardust album.
Alright.
Some of the tenets of the origin story is the best way that I can think of to say this.
Yeah, the origins of the religion.
Yeah, and
Basic
some of
belief tenets or something, yeah.
So
Bit of David Bowie.
very
When's that ever hurt anyone, Steve?
Never.
Lady Stardust off Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. Carl Pilkington is in the middle of educating me. Colon then, educate me.
Right, so,
I've learnt that you can, you know, fiddle around with your brain when awake. That's brilliant.
I've never been a fan of doctors, though, so this was a good one for me to look up, because...
Yeah.
Did I tell you the time when, the doctor said I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And, at lunchtime there was this... We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have, like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or, there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and, did great cakes and stuff, right? So, she used to, like, bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because, you know, they cost money and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off.
Right.
Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go round the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there, and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
Master Chronicle, fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, you know, you'd just eat, I don't know, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you'd do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
Congress tarts.
I love them. I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them.
If anyone can get a Congress tart for Carl in London, please let him know.
So anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once or twice a week you'd have a load of cake.
In your life,
yeah, that's
so
normal
anyway,
day in your life. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads?
So
and the horse in the settee? Yeah.
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right? I was like in agony, could hardly walk. So I said to my mum, "Oh,
could hardly stagger to the free cakes."
So I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in because I don't know what it is. I can't walk. Just gets the doctor round. I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah.
My mum was panicking.
Sure.
He went. My dad came in from work. She said, oh, something's really bad with Carl. I think it's serious. You know, the doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what? He said that and just left? So she said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up, said, what's all this about? You know, Carl hasn't got long left, how long's he got? So he goes, oh, I was only messing. He's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is...
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She didn't go into detail. Can you explain more, Doctor? No, I got to show off.
But she doesn't.
You know, I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he done? I had about 6 cream cones. Oh, right, oh, wow. He hasn't got long to live then. I'll see you later. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. Just like the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well, I'm not going to probe him, he's that's it then.
Dad comes in, hi honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Carl's going to die and then left. Did he? I'll call him.
But anyway, that's why these sort of things fascinate me. So we'll move on to this next one, right, which is brilliant. Dead short story. So, right, old woman, about 70 years old. Yeah. She's normally fit and healthy and stuff, nothing wrong with her, she's having a good life. And one day, she goes for a check to the doctor's, just to check herself out, 'cause she's getting on a bit. Says, take your clothes off and that. So she does, and checks her out, says, yeah, you're looking good, you're looking good. Turn round, he said, oh God. He says, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right? So she goes, oh, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we'll book you in for an operation, it's best if we remove this. Books her in for an operation, operation day comes, strip her down and that, they're all stood round, the doctors, start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier, and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Carl.
I can forward you. Serious.
Right, okay, Carl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious. Honestly.
You're talking. I've never had such. You are. Play a record. Play a record.
I can't believe it.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Stop the record. Stop the record. Stop the record. Right, okay. Right, what do you mean you couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said, I've got to tell Richard.
This woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years, you mental case. Of course she didn't. Syntax, Fry, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Right, get off. Right, what you got next?
Right, well, running a bit late with this, but it's time for Do We Need 'Em? We're looking into what
I'm really worried about this, because everyone's getting that last clue wrong. I reckon it's so rubbish that even your mental fans can't work it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but...
Give that final Rockbusters clue again.
The Jamaican fella had to have some aspirin. Why is that? Why did he have to do it?
No, hold on, that's changed.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, the story.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That's the point of a cryptic clue, isn't it? Oh, do. What have you got now?
Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails, I've spoken to someone about jellyfish, and that, and looking at cockroaches today.
Right, now who's the expert?
It's a woman called Jessica Marshall.
Right.
Does she know that you're going to play this on the radio?
Well, I called up, right, in the week and said, can I talk to someone about cockroaches? And she was like, is that Carl?
She knows who you are?
Yeah.
Right, so she already knows maybe your angle, your approach.
Yeah, she was
And she's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge, it's got dinosaurs and that in it, it's worth seeing.
And Natural History Museum?
Yeah. So,
not sure. He's not sure.
This is what happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong, and then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So, first of all, the first thing that I found out is that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knee, and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed?
I think you're grasping at straws or something.
All right. Well, we might have to come back to that one then.
Okay.
They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles, holes down the side of the body. So, no, they're not a very apt simile because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do, and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to slide.
Nothing to do with breathing.
So
only feeding.
So you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something and got bored after 40 minutes and said, well, we'll call it right.
It's an unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all...
You can't do that.
Yeah, but...
No. Pretty unkind thing to do anything, even a cockroach.
Something else I found out.
Yeah.
They can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in the process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and, you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying it was my own fault and it was nice knowing you.
Well, that would be a useful facility, I agree, but cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're primitive insects.
Alright. Well, I've also, is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest?
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna. Well,
I mean, maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it might make up.
They're probably searching out food, and yeah, they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge, and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we? You know.
Well, you might not know much about it, of